Hi, this is Rachel and welcome to WombTube. My website is thehealthywomb.com. You can get hold of me there. So I'm going to talk to you today about a question I have from many of my clients, and that is about menstrual cups. Now, a while ago I wrote about sanitary hygiene products and how they can affect you. So they can cause UTIs, irritation, bacterial infections, and in some cases more severe period pains and cramps. And one of my favourite alternatives that I use myself is a menstrual cup. So here is one here that I haven't used, in case any of you are wondering. And I use that every month of my bleed, no matter what point I am in the cycle, whether it's the heaviest part of the bleed or the lightest part. I tend to use this because it's quite comfortable and it's not icky, really easy to clean and so much more convenient. It's a lot more friendly for the environment because you're not sticking used sanitary products that go straight into the landfill. It's a lot cheaper as well. One of these costs about £20, varies across different brands, but a whole period for me would cost about £5 in regular sanitary products, so that's £60 a year. One of these lasts 10 years, I'd say. So that's £20 over 10 years as opposed to £600 over 10 years. So for me, it's a no-brainer. So I'm just going to talk you through the different elements of the menstrual cup. Now, if you can see, I've got the rim up here. If you're quite sensitive to wearing tampons or you find menstrual cups painful, maybe find one with a lesser prominent ring. You can see some lines up here. They're actually punch holes which allow the cup to sort of suction in place and to be removed, but don't allow for things to drip out. You have, I don't know if you can see them, there are some lines across here that tell you how filled up the cups are, so you can see how heavy your flow is. And then you should also be able to see these grip rings along the bottom of the cup and along the stem. Now, the stem can be trimmed off depending on what you find more comfortable. If you've got a higher cervix, you'll need a longer stem. If you've got a lower cervix, you can snip the stem off at various different lengths so it's not sticking out. You can even buy a cup with just a little grabby bit, I can't think of the word for it. So you can alter them to make them fit you better. There's also how squidgy or flexible they are. This one's quite soft. But if you do have quite a strong pelvic floor, for example, if you're a dancer and you do have a crampy period, you might want one that's just a bit more solid and less flexible. So they're not as scary as they sound, they're quite small. There are several issues that I know people come up with. One is getting them in. I'm not going to lie, it does take practice. Some people like to do the foot on the bath like you do when you first try putting in tampons the first time. So it took me 3 or 4 goes to get one in straight away. The best way to get them in is to fold them. So there are several different folds. The most common one is the C fold, where you fold it once and then you fold it again, and just get a really good grip for pushing it up. And then once it's in, you just let go and it pretty much just pops into place. And sometimes you just need to twist it to get it a bit more comfortable. Some people do the punch down fold, which is hard to do from this perspective, but basically punch down at the top and then fold and then up. So just do whatever feels comfortable for you. The other question people have is, are they painful? If they're painful, it's likely that you have them in slightly not quite like this, so they might still be a bit twisted, or you find this rim bit here painful, or the other thing I've come across is putting them directly on your cervix itself and it's suctioned onto the cervix, which apparently is very painful. So the likelihood is that you've put it in slightly incorrectly, or you just need to look for a different cup, and unfortunately you can't just buy them, try them and send them back. So you should really do a bit of research around different internet forums, and you should find one that's a bit more suitable for your needs. The other thing is removing them. To remove them, you do have to break the seal a bit just by pushing in. I've never had any spillage, it's quite difficult to get, quite messy, and then you just pull out. either with the stem or grip rings, depending on how high up it is. As you can see, that's actually quite a lot of volume, so you don't have to worry about changing every hour, and you don't have the risk of TSS. I've had people ask me what to do if they get stuck. I've never had this happen. Apparently it's quite rare. If it does happen, then the first thing you need to do is relax, which might be the last thing that you think of when you're worried that you've got something stuck up there. But as I said, there's no toxic shock syndrome risk, so you don't have to panic about getting it out. So the first thing to do is relax, maybe even take a hot bath or a shower, and then squat down so that your thighs are against your chest, and bear down, either like you're giving birth if you've ever given birth, or apparently like doing a number 2 is very similar. And just keep bearing down gently until eventually you can break the seal and then pull it down. If you really do get stuck and you are quite sort of distressed about it, don't worry, you can go to a GP surgery, and even if it takes a night or so to get an appointment, don't worry about it, because as I said, there's no toxic shock syndrome risk. It's just the knowing that it's there that will worry you, and you can't get it lost anywhere because it can't go up through your cervix, because the only time your cervix would ever be that dilated is sort of halfway through the birth process and then afterwards for a little while. So they really are easy to get in and out once you've practiced. The other thing I get asked a lot is how to clean them. So during the day when you're using them, you can either empty them out and put them straight back in, or I tend to, if I've got access to a sink, give them a good rinse and then put them back in. After your bleed, the best way of cleaning them is to boil them in a saucepan of boiling water for about 10 minutes, obviously a different one to the one you normally cook with, for various hygiene reasons, but they are very easy to clean. They all come in little neat packets like this, so you can be quite discreet and just carry one of those around with you. And as you can see, they carry a lot of fluid, so you don't have to panic about changing them on a regular basis. I hope that answered some of your questions about menstrual cups and has demystified them slightly. If you want to know any more about sanitary hygiene products and how they can affect you, come across to my website. It's thehealthywomb.com. I'll look forward to hearing from you.